Musicus Mail, the best answers to the best questions. Welcome to this new video. I'm Riccardo, I'm Musicus Practicus, and today I'm gonna answer a very beautiful question by Danielis Gottardolus from Italy, California, in the middle, half and half. So, this question is about the preparation of the seventh in harmonies, so in our Partimento practice. Danielis is very fan of handel exercises for Princess Anne, so he's doing all these exercises, and this is a comment about one of these videos I'm re-uploading for new people who discovered my channel recently in the last weeks. So Danielus is asking Riccardo in Latin. Is the chordal seventh used really only when it is a member of the dominant seventh chord, thinking in a functional modern harmony? If the chordal seventh is a member of a secondary chord, like the supertonic seventh, so tonic in the second degree, for example, must it always be prepared? Sorry for the use of modern terminology, but you also seem to use it here and there. Yeah, sometimes the thinking in modern terminology can be useful in order to make a link between the way in which the most of musicians today used to think and the right way of ancient musici pratici. So let's answer this question in this way. As you know, as you said, the dominant seventh chord can be unprepared. The chordal seventh in the dominant seventh chord can be unprepared, and that's true in modern harmony, but also in baroque harmony it can be unprepared. Now, if we think to all the seventh we can have in a composition like in a tonal composition, and I made a video about this, a video entirely dedicated to the seventh chord. Look at it here, you can find the link in the description of this video. There's one interesting thing I didn't talk about because I realized this in the last weeks, and I want to take this opportunity to talk about this right now to you. What do we have in the dominant seventh chord? We have a diminished fifth, and in my opinion the answer lies in this diminished fifth, because in tonal music we can have 5 kinds of sevenths, comparing them to the modern classification. Since we have the first species, so the dominant seventh, we have the second species, so the minor seventh, we can say, on the second degree. So we can have the third species, so the seventh we can have on the seventh degree of the seventh degree of a major key. And the fourth species, so the major, we can say major seventh chord. We have also major third and major seventh, and then the fifth species, which is the diminished seventh. For example. So among these seventh, only three can be unprepared. Then, if we think to the sixth and the seventh species, they are not something. They are not seventh we can find in a tonal environment as seventh, but for example as appoggiaturas, with appoggiaturas like this, or with another appoggiatura like this. So they are not seventh we can have as seventh. So with the preparation, suspension, and resolution, they are more like a result of something else. Then let's analyze how the first species, the second species, and the fifth species can be unprepared. And as you can see, in all these 3 species, so the first one we have the diminished fifth, in the third one we have the diminished fifth, and in the fifth one we have the diminished fifth. Remember that you can download the free PDF about all the seventh, and so you can see the classification and also how all these pieces are made up, how they are composed, so all the intervals. And a very interesting thing comes from this composition by Jomelli, and how Gerdingen in Music and the Ghana style enhance this kind of cadence, and he called it Jomelli cadence, since we can find this cadence in a lot of music by Jomelli, like the example we have here now on the tabula, on our tabula compositoria, this one. We are in G major, and this kind of cadence belongs to the group of cadences where we have the leading tone in the bass, so the cantus cadence, so the leading tone, the clausola cantizans, what usually is in the part of the cantus, now is in the bass, and the upper voice features our, we can say, third species 7, which is nothing more than a fa against mi with a mi against fa, so mi fa and fa mi, so our diminished fifth, with another very beautiful thing that is like a gimel, so an accompaniment, upper accompaniment in parallel thirds, which is la sol, this one, la sol, as you can see. So here we can see the origin of the third species counterpoint from diminished fifth in a context like this, very used in gallant music of the second half, right? Exactly on the second half of the 18th century. Then, if we play the entire excerpt by Jomelli, we can clearly see how it's followed by cadwar cadence, so another kind of cadence, this time belonging to the bass, with the bass featuring pom 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 la, so the septive, so sol fa mi la sol fa sol la, using solmisation, and the upper voice is singing sol mi la sol fa mi re fa instead of mi la sol fa mi re do, since we have a deceptive cadence. So it's a Jomelli cadence plus a cadwar cadence, and this cadence is so important, and I have in the Partimento Magic Box the beautiful ingredient of the Jomelli cadence. Let's take it. Where is it? This one, Jomelli cadence. It's beautiful. The Partimento Magic Box. It smells amazing. Now we have the Cantus Jomelli cadence here, and another important cadence is the cadwar cadence. So with the taste of the cadwar cadence, which is nothing more than a descending scale from the 8th or even the 7th degree up to the 1st degree. Fa mi la sol fa mi re do, this one. And so this is the origin of the third species 7. Now, if we want to see the origin of the fifth species cadences, so the third, 7th we can have unprepared, we can imagine to be in G minor, so with 2 flats, and we can imagine to have, for this reason, this note, the D flat, the E flat, sorry, and for this we have our diminished fifth. Since on the 7th degree in the melodic scale, of course, of a minor key, we have not the third species according to the modern theory, but the fifth species of the 7th. And so fa la, it becomes from la sol, it becomes fa la. Since we have fa la sol fa fa mi re, fa la sol fa mi re, fa la sol fa mi re, mi fa sol la fa la, fa la. And then if we want, we can add the other scale, so fa la sol fa la sol fa la sol, no sol fa la sol fa la sol fa mi fa sol la fa, so fa la, sol fa la sol fa, mi. This way, using solmisation and baroque solfeggio. This is the right way, in my opinion, to understand how we can have three kinds of seventh which can be unprepared, since they have the diminished fifth. For this reason, as a consequence of this reasoning, the second species doesn't have a diminished fifth. We can say perfect fifth and perfect fifth, minor third, major third, perfect fifth and minor seventh. And the other species, so major third, perfect fifth, major seventh, and two perfect fifth. So we don't have any kind of diminished fifth, and in my opinion the reason lies in this diminished fifth, which has this dominant function, and in this case functional harmony can really help us to understand why these three kinds of cadences can be unprepared. And another answer belonging to modern music theory is that the third species and the fifth species come from the dominant ninth, since we have the dominant seventh chord, this, with the ninth, we have like the third species with the addition of the dominant. So it can be unprepared. And in the minor mode, we would have the A flat, so we have the diminished seventh, also the fifth species, over, for example, a 50-degree bass. And in this case, in this context, modern harmony, functional harmony, can be useful in order to understand this curious process.
Many times, composition is a game of combinations. You could be well acquainted with the greatest secrets of harmony, but if you don't know how to harmonize them, they are of little use. You might possess a refined skill in counterpoint, but if you don't know how to connect this magical ingredient, it becomes entirely useless. You might also know all the patterns of the galant style, but if you don't know how to mix, blend and organize them, you are not unleashing their maximum energy. With a few simple and well-organized steps, you too can become a wizard in the art of composing through combinations. Thanks to the Partimento Magic Box, I've devised a highly effective system with which you can compose many pieces by combining the different ingredients of musical composition, much like preparing a magical potion or a delightful recipe. Discover all the ingredients, create effective combinations, and become a wizard of musical composition. Explore all the recipes on this page.